Yo guys, GHC here with my new feature called the Duelist Toolbox. Now in this feature I will be talking about things that general duelists will need for starting up the game, carrying on with the game, helping them with the game, and giving you tips on sort of things that you could do or use to help your deck, your trade binder, and all that sort of side deck, extra deck better. So yeah, and obviously the first episode is going to be on your deck, and the first thing I'm going to talk about is the simple stuff. So this is my Cyber Dragon deck. It's not complete yet, as you can see. You can see a proxy there, Cyber Dragon's Way, or whatever it's called. Yeah, so this deck isn't complete yet. I need about 6-7 cards, and not including the fusions. I need Twin and Overload. No, Cyber. Chimera Tech Fortress and Chimera Tech Over. But yeah, anyway. So, start off with the basic tips on the deck. Your deck needs to be 40 cards or more. So, you have to have 40 cards in your deck. And I can tell you this deck has a 40 card build exactly. Your deck can go up to 60 cards, although I wouldn't go over 45, 46 cards unless you're running a heavy sort of, like, unless the deck, you have to, basically, unless your deck is built around having lots of cards. And so that's the first thing. Next thing about the deck is it shouldn't have 35 monsters, 3 spells and 3 traps. It should be balanced. In this deck I'm running 24 monsters, then 8 spells and 8 traps. So it's spell and traps balanced, and you got more monsters and spells and traps, you're more likely to draw a monster. That's how I work my deck, and that's how it sort of works. So you need it to be balanced. Next thing about your deck, it should have an extra deck, which I will talk about later. In this one I've got the Cyber Dragon fusions, obviously, and the synchros, because I do run a tuner, because it contains the Cyber Darks in it, so I run a Magna Draco. But anyway, you need to have an extra deck, and your extra deck can be 15 cards or less. Now, your deck will have some problems to start off with, but there are ways of making it better. For example, consistency is one of the biggest problems in the game, where you can end up with dead draws and stuff like that. You need to add in cards to your deck that help with consistency, summoning, power, damage, and mill. So your deck should be perfect. And in this series I'm going to teach you about this. This is a basic first intro, just telling you about what your deck should be like and how you can use it to your advantage. So that's the basic info on the deck. Your deck is going to be your main ally during your Yuigioh sort of games, and it should revolve around one archetype of cards. But it can. There's some that don't, or like a type of card. So this one runs around the cyber, so I've got my triple Cyber Dragon there. Yeah, so that's the couple of tips on the deck. Now, your deck should be balanced. So monsters, you shouldn't have a whole deck of level 5 monsters and then 2 level 4s. It should be the majority level 4 and the rest level 5 or 6 or higher or whatever. Because you don't want a dead draw. Like Cyber Dragon, it's okay. I don't know why I got the bent one at the front, but it's okay because you can special summon them because of their effect. But other decks it won't. So you need to bear that in mind. Just put my Cyber Dragon deck to the side, and we'll give you a 3 Cyber Dragon view. Also, you can only have, as professional Yu-Gi-Oh players should know, 3 types of monsters, 3 of the same print monster in the deck. Although in a Cyber Dragon deck, you are going to have more monsters that will act as Cyber Dragons than you actually will need. So you're going to have lots of Cyber Dragons. So yeah, here are the basic tips on my deck, and the toolbox idea is to give you an idea of what things you can use to help your deck get more consistent and stuff like that. or how tips on trading. So it's basically like a toolbox. You go in there and you find what you need. That's the basic video point. So you can go to one of my videos and find what you need. So for the consistency and stuff, like all those useful cards, I have picked up a load of useful cards from my collection and put them together in order of monster spells and traps. And then each video, I'll spread it out, pick 2 of my eyes closed, and explain how these cards will help your deck. I personally selected those. I'll have to take the sleeves of those 2, but I've got my eyes shut at the moment. I'm going to pick out this card and probably this card. And now these 2 cards, I'm going to explain to you how they will help your deck get better and in what way. So the first one is Mountain, the second one is Smashing Ground. Okay, Mountain's a field spell. Increases all the attack of Dragon, Wing Beast, and Thunder type monsters by 200 attack points. Now you're going to need a field spell, and generally most decks of the current meta usually all run around a field spell. I can give you a few examples, like TGs don't, but field spells really help power up your monsters if you don't have the stuff you need. So, and also if your opponent has one out that they're using heavily, like with an agent deck and Lost Sanctuary, Sanctuary in the Sky, you can have that. And Smashing Ground just helps clear the field. So this is the first episode of Toolbox finished.